Ooh, that dress so scandalous. She's no one other can't handle it. Just shaking that thing like who's the ish. With a look in your eyes so devilish. She liked to dance to the hip-hop spots, and she moved to the cruise like connected dots. Not just urban, she liked the pop, cause she was living la vida loca. She had dumped like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I'll sing it again. She had dumped like a truck. Thighs like what? All night long. Let me see that thong, baby. That thong.
Dong.
I like it when the beat goes, and I like it when your booty go, baby. That thong. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Channel Chasers podcast. This week we are gonna party like it's 1999. Yeah. As always, I am your host, Jay, and joining me are my two homies, Brian and Tony. How you doing tonight, fellas?
I'm awake, and I'm ready to party. And see some gory kills.
Man, I stumbled a little bit, but I you know what's crazy? I was 5 years old when that song, I texted this to Brian. I was 5 years old when this song came out. I don't know why I memorized every single word. I have no business as a 5-year-old knowing every word to this song. But here I am, as soon as that song started playing, I sang right along with Danny, and I knew every word. I was like, wait, how do I know this entire song? I thought I knew the chorus, right? The whole dumps like a truck part, but like I didn't know I knew the whole song. I was like, wait, how do I know all this?
That's crazy. Absolute madness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Instead of talking about the new Devil May Cry anime, life got in the way for that. So we're covering the A24 film Y2K.
Yeah, which is something we reacted to on the podcast in previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I actually love this little horror comedy.
No offense to the DMC anime.
And
I watched about
that movie came out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they covering it now? Well, similar to when we covered the Wild Robot, we're covering something when it hits streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and no offense to Devil May Cry anime, I'm a huge fan, and I watched maybe 3 or 4 episodes before I got kicked out of my family's Netflix for some reason, and I couldn't get the password in time to be able to finish it. So I was like, hey guys, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this in time. And then Brian was like, well, first off, we got to give a round of applause for our boy Brian. He has successfully joined us in the workforce. So that's why we're actually kind of changing things up a little bit. We'll be recording these on the weekends, so these may be coming out on a different day depending on Tony's editing process, but we're still going to get them to you at the same quality that they're used to. Don't worry about that, folks.
Yep.
But Brian only had been able to watch I think 1 or 2 episodes at the time, maybe 1, I think you said.
Yeah. I think it was 1.5.
Yeah, so there was no way Brian was gonna finish it, and as much as I want to talk about it because it is good, I'll probably finish it on my own time and talk about it on screen time. But honestly, I think this was the right call because it was really fun. I had a blast with it, and actually it's really good timing considering currently right now, and this is actually one of my talking points for later on in the podcast, so we'll talk about it later. But currently right now, Rachel Zegler is getting a lot of shit because of the Snow White live action reboot, and this movie once again proved to me that Rachel Zegler is an amazing actress and she needs more work.
To the fact where you didn't even know it was her.
Yeah, I didn't I was like, she looks really familiar. She's got, because the thing about Rachel Zegler that always kind of sticks with me is she looks like she has a Vanessa Hudgens face. She looks very similar to a young Vanessa Hudgens, but I know it's not Vanessa Hudgens. Yeah, you can't unsee it now, right?
Yeah.
I see. It was something in my mind. I was like, why does this girl look so familiar? Now I get it.
Yeah,
now I get it.
It's Rachel Zegler.
She also looks a little like I always get this name right. No, wrong. Lily Cavajo?
Oh yeah, Lily Cavajo, the chick who played Moana. Yeah. She does look very similar. And also, every time she's in something, she's a very underrated performance. We talked about it briefly in our year-end wrap-up, I believe last year, but Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods, she was great in that as the younger sister that was flirting with Freddy.
She's a very good chameleon actress.
Oh yeah, she's very much like a jack of all trades type. She could, and she has enough strength to pull off the lead. I mean, she was fucking Maria in Spielberg's West Side Story, which I still hold is a very good adaptation of a classic
Yep.
play/movie.
Which one thing that I didn't realize about her is not only was West Side Story her first movie,
Oh
but
wow, that's crazy.
Snow White is only her 7th.
Wow, she's only been in, I mean, she is relatively young, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And granted, every actor out there has at least one bad film that they're in, you know?
That's what I'm saying. And like, even though I don't agree with like what she said, and I mean, I guess we're already kind of getting into it, but like, even though I don't agree with some of the stuff she said in like the press defense of the movie, what is she gonna do? Bash the movie that she's a part of? Like, dude, she wants to, like it or not, Disney is one of the biggest studios and corporations on the planet. If you burn a bridge with Disney, you're kind of fucked in this industry.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially because also she hasn't really had a big franchise to sink her teeth into
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, like she killed it in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but like that's a one-off, and you know, more than likely the character is dead. So like, it's not like they could do
also
a sequel.
she came in as like an antagonist in Shazam.
And with the whole situation with Zachary Levi and all him not being able to shut his damn mouth, we don't even know if that Shazam franchise is gonna carry over.
Likely not.
Which sucks for Angel, what's his face, the kid who plays Billy. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them were good.
Oh yeah.
Like Freddy.
Oh yeah, Freddy was amazing. I loved Freddy. And oh my god, the chick who played Mary, I was in love with her. Oh my god, she's so fine, dude. Like, oh.
Well,
But it is what it.
Yeah.
and unfortunately, talking about DC Comics.
Yeah, so I figured that'd be a good segue into the news, because, man, it's a sad one, or at least the in memoriam before the news. It's a sad day today in comic land, ladies and gentlemen. My personal favorite, Caped Crusader, is no longer with us.
Yep.
Rest in peace to the man, the myth, the legend, Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what's the craziest part? The news came out on Tuesday. Literally a couple hours after we recorded, I heard this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure who saw it first, but I know in my experience before anyone else talked about it, I saw it and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. We lost Gene Hackman and Val Kilmer relatively close together. I know they're not connected at all because Hackman was Lex Luthor, but like still kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Kilmer.
Kilmer is the second Batman after Keaton. Keaton did the first Batman in '89. Kilmer did, I want to say it was Batman Returns and Batman Forever.
No, Keaton did Returns, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, Keaton did Return? Was Kilmer the first one?
No.
Val was just Forever.
Oh, Val was just Forever? Okay, yeah. Batman Forever is probably my favorite out of the old school ones.
Yeah.
Penguin is nightmare fuel, dude. And it had Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman in it. Like,
no, that was Returns.
that was Returns? Why do I keep confusing them? I always
Forever was the one with
That's the Riddler?
Tommy
Lee
Jones, Two-Face.
Yeah,
and Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Which is wild because Harvey Dent in the previous movie was played by Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
And this one also had Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, right.
As Dr. Chase.
Chase Meridian, yeah.
Yeah, Chase Meridian.
Yeah, yep, I remember. She was almost like a prototype Harley before Harley existed. Or maybe Harley had already existed at the time, I don't remember. But yeah.
I mean, this one
But anyway.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, so somewhere around there.
Val's Batman wasn't always the best, but he nailed it as the Bruce side.
He has the best Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
can agree with that.
aside from Christian Bale, who I think actually does the best Bruce Wayne, period. Because like when he gets into like he basically channels his character from American Psycho.
Kinda. Yeah. It's just the only thing about the Bale movies is that they're not really Batman.
Oh well, yeah. But I still hold Bale as the worst Batman, but the best Bruce.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And I
can
agree
see
with
that.
this assessment. I think we talked about this before.
We did because we had a conversation about your during your screen time when you talked about you were watching the old Batman movies over again, and you were saying how you don't like Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah, because it's just Jack Nicholson.
yeah, he's just playing Jack Nicholson, or I even said he's playing Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that about The Dark Knight.
Although that first movie, like real quick, speaking of good Bruce performances, Keaton has probably one of the most iconic Bruce Wayne lines of all time. "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." That shit iconic.
But yeah, the Bale Batman movies are in this like weird area, especially The Dark Knight. Because for me, I say that it's high up there with movies of all time.
See,
but not for superhero movies.
People get so angry at me when I say that, but I'm like, all right, tell me what about this is a superhero movie? Because the guy is in a costume? No, this is just a amazing crime thriller. Like neo-noir crime thriller where people happen to be wearing costumes in it.
Yeah. It just so happens to have a superhero in it.
There are no henchmen. There are no fucking wacky hijinks. There are no comic book elements whatsoever outside of the costumes. And even with the costumes, it's a minimalistic, quote-unquote, grounded costume.
And think of it like all three of those Nolan Batman films. The minimalism went off the fucking rails a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. But, besides the point, before we get on too much of a tangent, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. He really was my favorite Batman. Like, even though I didn't use the movies, he was really good.
Indeed.
He's never brought up in the conversation as much. Like, everybody talks about Keaton, everybody talks about Bale. Shit, people even talk about Batfleck, which I feel is a super underrated Batman performance, but he doesn't fully deserve to be in the conversation with the main Batman because he never got a solo movie. So we never got to see the full extent of his Batman portrayal. Although people would argue that Batman v Superman is mostly a Batman movie, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but anyway,
specifically for Batfleck.
Yeah.
Val was also good outside of Batman. He was Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
Let's not forget one of his most iconic roles that he actually did reprise despite, suffering from throat cancer. He was Iceman in Top Gun.
Yep.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
And Glenn Powell did an amazing job playing his son. Or no. Glenn Powell was Goose's kid, not Iceman's kid. Yeah. Oh, it was Miles Teller. For some reason, I was thinking of Glenn Powell. I know Glenn Powell is in the movie.
No, Miles Teller was the son of the dead one.
Yeah.
And Glenn Powell wasn't anybody's son. He was just
he was just the asshole. He was just the asshole in training. He was Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But also, let's not forget that Val got his start with two 80s classic.
Yep.
Top Secret and Real Genius.
Yeah. And Tombstone is an iconic fucking Western. It's I think especially in terms of more modern Westerns, like that and True Grit are like some of the best out there.
Also, starred in a one that was surprising to me when I found out. He was the lead in The Prince of Egypt.
What? He was Moses? That was Val Kilmer?
Yup.
Holy shit! What?
Yeah. Yep.
That crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I used to watch that movie every Easter as a kid.
Yeah, the voice cast is very
That's fucking crazy, dude.
of a certain skin color.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Ramses was Lord Voldemort.
Oh shit, Ray Fiennes?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is a.
Man, that cast is crazy.
Yep. Michelle Pfeiffer and Sandra Bullock were the lead females.
I remember that. I do remember Sandra Bullock and Michelle Pfeiffer being
And,
the two love. Well, like the Sandra Bullock was Moses' sister, I think, and then
and
Michelle Pfeiffer was
Val-
Moses' wife.
That was also in Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, yep. True.
And also, let's not forget, he was Fantasy Han Solo in Willow.
And the crazy thing is, even though he fought through that battle with throat cancer, he did not die of throat cancer. He died of pneumonia. Which I guess is technically kind of connected, because obviously the throat cancer messes up your respiratory system. But still kind of interesting.
Yeah, but before we go on for too long, He was great. He will be missed.
100%.
And moving on to the actual news, we're actually going to be talking about a different superhero actor, because I don't know about you, but I'd argue that Buffy was a superhero.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if you want to talk about comic book characters, she did voice April O'Neil in the criminally underrated 2009 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated film that had Chris Evans as Casey Jones, like at the very beginning of the MCU. Like, I don't think Captain America had even come out yet, but like Iron Man had released already.
True. Well, even though Sarah Michelle Gellar right now is helping to make the Buffy reboot, and she's part of the Dexter prequel, another show that she's starring in was announced.
Okay.
It's called Bad Summer People.
All right.
It's based on a book of the same name, and Emily Rosenblum novel, and the book's description is Jen and Lauren rule the town of Salcombe, Fire Island every summer. They hold sway on the beach and the tennis court, and are adept at manipulating people to get what they want.
Fire Island.
husband-
I wonder if they have a festival there every year where they scam people.
Well, this one is Fire.
Yeah, I know. Still.
But their husbands, Sam and Jason, have summered together on the island since childhood. Despite lifelong grudges and numerous secrets, their one friend, Rachel, is looking to meet her match, whether he's a tennis pro or someone else's husband. But even with plenty of gossip about, this season starts out as quietly as many other, until a body is discovered face down off the side of the boardwalk.
Well, shit.
So basically, it's kind of very similar to White Lotus without the hotel.
Without the hotel, it's more like a summer island, summer vacation island.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
And it is being developed by Cara De Pablo, who most recently gained note for being the showrunner in that miniseries No Good Deeds, the one that starred Ray Romano and Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, yeah. I think we reacted to that.
Yeah, we did. But I've never seen it, but I've heard good things.
I have heard good things as well.
But anyway, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and we like the mess here, and that looks hella messy.
Oh yeah, when you as soon as you first described Rachel, I was like, oh man, Rachel's the messy bitch. I'm here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, like speaking of shows like that, how is that? I mean, you might talk about it in screen time, so I don't want to step on it too much. But how is that Garden Club show on Peacock?
Oh, other things got in the way, but I liked it from the first 2 episodes that I watched.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I do think that we can cover it. There is a lot of mess.
Nice. All right. So
Like, even without the murder.
well, yeah, you could tell that from the trailer. So is that it for the news?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just thought I'd do the quick little thing that looking forward to.
Nice. So yeah, I guess, with that transition, we can jump into Screen Time, which for those of you who are new here, Screen Time is the segment of the podcast where the guys and I all talk about different pieces of media we have consumed in between podcast episodes. That could be anything from books to TV shows we don't have time to cover or probably will cover later, or movies, music, video games, anything like that. So I'll go ahead and start. My weekend has been occupied with mostly video games, but I will start by saying a friend of mine from work, Callie, shout out to you, Callie, if you're listening to this, because I did actually convince Callie to check out the podcast, so hi, Callie, if you're listening. She convinced me to check out Severance on Max, which I had been meaning to anyway because I heard nothing but good things. I have not finished the first season. I watched like 3 episodes. This shit is really interesting.
Severance?
Yeah.
Because Severance is on
Isn't it
Apple.
I thought it was Max.
Are you talking about Succession?
No, I know Succession. Is Severance on Apple? I thought it was on Max. Hold on. Oh, shit, maybe you're... Oh, no, that's why. I was using my brother's account. I was like, I don't have Apple. I was like, oh, this is not my account. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, it is on Apple. You're right. I had to look at it real quick. Yeah, I watched... So I watched the first 3 episodes. It's really fucking interesting. It's a really weird, trippy sci-fi concept. Apple has a lot of shows that, like, I want to watch. I might bite the bullet and pay for Apple.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Severance. Like,
But I have heard the second season isn't as good from what people have told me, but the first season has me really intrigued.
well, I've heard that it's kind of like similar to what would be a good analogy? Game of Thrones season 6, where it's still really good compared to other things, but not as good as the previous.
So, like, I'll give like a non-spoiler description of the plot. Essentially, right, this society kind of exists where they have this system where they essentially like sever your consciousness between work and the outside world. They refer to it as your innie, which is your work self, and your outie, which is your outside world self. And your innie is essentially born the second you start working, and so they develop their entire personality, all their relationships and stuff, all related to work. And once they go to the elevator up, their outie takes over, and their outie has their own separate personality, relationships, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of interesting different dynamics, considering like you are literally two separate people, and like have no actual awareness of the other person or the outside world. So you know apparent like there's like just a bunch of different interesting dynamics going on, you know, because like you might be best friends, or like, you know, you might have like a work wife, or like I have a best friend at work, but like that person on the outside fucking hates your guts. You don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like, because again, two separate people. It's a really interesting kind of like take on the monotony of work life, and I probably would not have been as interested in it if I hadn't had started like actually working a regular job, like a regular, not really, I mean, I guess it's kind of an office job because I do spend some time in the office, but like a regular job, relatively speaking. So like,
do you have a desk?
Technically there are desks, but nobody has specific claim to any single desk. We just kind of use whatever's open to do our work whenever we need to do work.
Okay, cool. Because my job doesn't really require it. Like when you do the actual job, it doesn't require a desk. But when you're not like doing the specific job, we do have desks.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, we don't have any individual workspaces. My supervisor does. Like, she has her own desk. It's actually really cool. She has it like all customized. She actually has like a big fat Piplup plushie there that I think is adorable. She also has a Whooper plushie and some other like plushes related to marine life and water stuff. It's cute. But anyways, so yeah, enjoyed the first 3 episodes of Severance. I'm definitely gonna have to try and pick that back up. I might need to just bite the bullet and fucking pay for Apple myself, because like connecting to somebody else, because watching from somebody else's Apple account is really difficult because it's directly connected to their Apple ID. So
yeah, it's everything.
So I had to log out. I had to log my phone out of my Apple ID and back into my brother's. I was wondering why all my shit was weird. I have to fix all this later. But
yeah, because I know a while back Jay asked if he could borrow mine, and I'm like,
yeah, yep. So it's not one of those where you could just password share. So I might just end up biting the bullet and fucking paying for Apple. It's only $10, so like,
yeah,
it's not gonna be too bad.
And we've watched shows on there before.
Yeah, we watched Monarch, which we all really liked. But anyways,
Franklin.
Oh yeah, and Franklin. I completely forgot about Franklin. But the other thing that has been taking up the majority of my time has kind of been split between Assassin's Creed Shadows and Season 2 of Marvel Rivals, which we were gonna actually react to the Season 2 trailer previously.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man. Oh, dude, you guys, Season 2 of Marvel Rivals is great. Not only is it Krakoa themed, the battle pass is awesome. All the skins are fucking sick. And like one of my favorite X-Men characters, period. My favorite bitch with a heart of gold, Emma Frost, is in the game in all her thunder-thighed glory. I just want to say, just you know, I'm looking directly at my camera. I want to speak to whoever designed and created this character over at NetEase Games. Sir and or madam, I would like to shake your hand. Thank you. You are doing God's work. I hope you got a raise. I hope you got several raises. Because,
I will say,
my God, they added jiggle physics for her thighs, bro. They did not have to do that, but they did it. And it's mwah, chef's kiss.
But I
Bang
will say that also got to give them their credit, because unlike other games, they are self-aware of the like goonage.
Oh, 100%. And they know that's what makes them money. I know that's they should know that's how they get my money.
And also, apparently I heard that one of them actually did admit that there's a reason why there are a lot of blondes.
I mean, the developers clearly have a fetish.
Yeah.
And you know
And
what,
I mean-
you know what the funniest part is? You know what the funniest part is? Also, something that I didn't even realize until somebody brought it up. Each of the three, like the three major blondes, obviously magic exists, but the three major blondes that everybody thinks of, their default skins are all the same color, white and blue.
Yeah, ain't that funny?
It's hilarious. And also, another thing I have to give like major props to the dev team for season 2, with especially in regards to Emma. All her banter with everybody is so good. Like, I love how she bonds with Sue over being a mother, because yes, she actually treats the Cuckoos as her daughters, because they essentially are, even though they're just clones. But she treats them like they're her daughter. I love that she has this like antagonistic relationship with Luna Snow. Did not expect that. Luna Snow was out here kind of just like being catty towards Emma, and I was like, okay, all right, Luna. I did not expect that, but I don't think you're gonna win this fight.
Emma was being first though.
Yeah, but like Luna took it to the next level.
Yeah.
They both tried to warm up each other.
But let me tell you, I've played as Emma, and I can kill a Luna Snow in like 3 seconds. So she needs to watch her mouth.
Which,
look, I am so upset because I actually want to complete some of those Emma missions, but motherfuckers are quicker on the draw than me.
Dude, let me tell. Okay, so pro tip, and I'll give not only just to Tony, but all my fellow Marvel Rivals players that are listening to this podcast. So I don't know if this exists on console. I know this is a thing on PC, but when you open the launcher on PC, there's a thing where you can turn on this thing called experimental shader changer mode or whatever. You turn that shit on and you load in so much faster, and so that's how you get in quick, and you can insta lock the White Queen. And I'm not just making a joke because she's a white woman. No, she actually goes by the White Queen, y'all. Learn your lore, nerds.
yeah. But also, I do gotta point out that more to like the fetishy goonage, that one of her attacks is to literally choke a bitch.
Oh, the choke slam is great. She literally choke slams and steps on them, cause like it's Emma Frost. Of course she would. Although she can only do it in diamond form, because that's when she does all her like brawler super strength stuff.
Yeah, because she is. She is kind of like Cloak and Dagger, where she's two characters in one.
Which, let me tell you something, it is satisfying as fuck being able to choke slam the Hulk.
It is. It is so funny.
I've done it to the Hulk, I've done it to the Thing, to Venom, all the big guys. I've specifically like, I just want to get at least one choke slam off on one of these guys, and it is so much fun. But my favorite interaction so far, which is a deep cut actually, is if you're playing as Emma and you have a Jeff the Shark on your team, and the Jeff dies in front of you, she yells, "No, my baby! They'll pay for that!" And the reason for that is, if you were reading the X-Men comics at the time when Tony and Emma got married, Jeff the Shark was their ring bearer.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, so Emma has a very special connection with our boy Jeff the Shark. He even calls her mama.
Aww.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Listen.
Oh,
Emma is a bitch with a heart of gold, man. It is a golden heart.
Yep, and her banter with Tony, Jesus.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Like legit. Like, I know people were hating on it at first, but I was like, what are you talking about? This is a match made in heaven. Like,
yeah, like I was legit sad when I found out that they were getting a divorce.
like they had to because of political reasons, because of where the mutants were at the time, and like
Also, to get Tony back to status quo.
yeah, because Marvel doesn't like characters being married. Spider-Man. I'm sorry, I had a bad cough there. But yeah, her banter with Tony is great. Namor fumbling the bag is hilarious. That is my favorite interaction of all time. It's like, you shine like the sunset gleaming off the ocean, Emma. The only surface dweller who surpasses you in beauty is Susan Richards. Like, at first she's like,
Jesus,
at first she's like, flattery will get.
bro.
At first she's like, flattery will get you everywhere, darling. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then Emma's like, and then Namor just keeps talking. He decides to keep talking, and is like, the only surface dweller who surpasses you in beauty is Susan Richards. And she's like, you should have stopped while you were ahead, dear. And I'm just like, right, Namor, bro.
Bro.
And then there's a second optional dialogue that I got one time when I had a Namor on my team, and it's like you should think about forming an alliance with Atlantis, Emma. Krakoa and Atlantis could be powerful together. The White Queen and the King of Atlantis would make a formidable team. And she goes, "Let me guess, Namor. Susan rejected you again? You do have a type now, don't you?" And I'm like, oh. Damn, you better hop into the ocean, Namor, because that's the only way to cure that burn.
No.
You were seen on a level.
Oh my god, it was so good. And probably my absolute favorite interaction, which I did not expect but makes perfect sense, and the devs are paying attention for this one. If you have a Groot on your team, you can actually hear Groot talk.
He's like, oh, thank God, I can actually speak.
He goes, wait, you can understand me? Finally! I have so much to say, but nobody ever paid attention. You're not gonna believe what Rocket did the other day. And she goes, you know what? Maybe not. And Groot's just like, oh. I'm just like, dang, Emma. He was so excited. Why'd you do that to him?
Oh my god, I just had a thought.
What?
What if someday Quentin and Groot get to interact?
That would be so much fun. But yeah, Emma is a blast to play as. Like, her ult is so good. It's like, it's an offensive ult that also freezes other ultimates and like pulls other people in. So it's the perfect thing to combo with other offensive ults. It works kind of like Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto, because she'll like draw other enemy players towards her. So if you do that and then combo with something like a Spider-Man or one of the big AoE ults like Psylocke or whatever, it does crazy damage.
I've also seen people use it to lure them off edges.
Oh yeah, that's also a thing. But you want another thing that I enjoy the most? So Tony's played Rivals for a long time, and you know. As much as I love Steve Rogers as a character, we all hate Captain America when we see Captain America in Marvel Rivals on another team, because Captain America refuses to die.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that is no longer a problem with Emma. I can finally chunk the hell out of Cap's health, and it is so satisfying. It's like, finally, you're not just an annoying asshole that's just yelling, "Assemble!" every 5 seconds.
Or just beating us up. Because when it comes to when we play Rivals together, we have a nickname for Captain America.
Yep, Captain Hate.
Yeah.
Yep, we call him Captain Hate Crime because he just keeps on hard targeting people. It's just like, yo, this is clearly a hate crime.
Yeah,
but we can talk more about that.
Oh yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. So
in trailer time.
So that's what I've been doing, and I have been having a blast. I was so glad that Emma showed up first, because again, Emma is like unironically one of my favorite X-Men characters of all time. She's had like the best glow up over the past 20 years, and it's been great. Her like, and they put her in her. Like, her alternate costume that you could buy the bundle for is her costume from the Bendis era, which is highly underrated. Like, nobody ever talks about her Bendis era costume, but it's one of my favorites. Everybody remembers Magic's Bendis era costume because it's become her default, but fucking Emma's was also gorgeous, and they did justice and then some to that costume as well. So I can't wait to get the other skins also, because man, that Cloak and Dagger skin, boy, that looks amazing.
It does look good.
I've also almost reached Lord on Cloak and Dagger as well. I've been grinding. I've almost maxed out my time on Cloak and Dagger.
Nice.
I find it funny. So I've been trying my best to get to have a character to play in every single role, and all those characters somehow are a blonde white woman. My main DPS, Magic. My two main healers, I switch between Sue and Dagger. Guess who my main tank is now? Emma Frost.
So what blonde would you want to finish out?
For another tank?
No, I mean, aren't there 4 roles in Marvel Rivals?
No, it's
only 3.
No, there's only 3. It's tank, DPS, and it's tank, DPS, and fucking
So it's Vanguard, strategy.
Yeah, just tank, DPS, and healer. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word healer. Yeah.
No, it's a duelist,
Vanguard, and strategist. Yeah, that's 3.
tank, and strategist.
No, Vanguard is tank. Vanguard is tank. It's duelist, Vanguard, strategist. It's 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yeah, no, Tony was right.
Okay. All right, my bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is kind of funny, but also considering the tastes of the developers.
Yeah, but also it's but the funniest thing is, like, I don't like, my personal taste. I've never been a fan of blondes. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like all of these characters, more so Emma and Sue. Dagger, like, hasn't been in enough for me to, like, really like her, even though I really did like the show on Freeform. Super underrated, very good show. Olivia Holt did a good job.
Yeah. Yep.
I actually would like a skin based off of that, although nobody would know where that's from because me, Brian, and maybe 12 other people watch that show.
Yeah. Also, they very rarely showed them in their
in their actual
costumes.
Yeah, that's true. They took the Marvel Netflix approach. But yeah, so Marvel Rivals. I want to talk a little bit about AC Shadows as well. I am having a blast with it. It feels very much like a classic Assassin's Creed game in terms of gameplay. And I, as somebody who enjoys Japanese history, I like interacting with a lot of these historical figures, especially historical figures from the Sengoku Jidai, which is, of course, the Warring States period. Because, Yasuke was a direct retainer of Nobunaga. And real quick, I want to just take a second to say, fuck you to anybody who's been hating on this game and been like, yo, this is bullshit. Yasuke was never really a samurai. This is historically inaccurate. They're just pushing a agenda, blah, 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 blah. Diversity politics, all that BS. Guys, Assassin's Creed has never, in its entire life, been historically accurate. This is a video game franchise where you had Leonardo da Vinci as one of your main allies, making guns, weapons, and flying machines for you. That is not historically accurate. Also, the game is about an alien civilization that created all of humanity. Again, not historically inaccurate. Suck a dick. This game has never been historically accurate. Let us have fun. It's not that deep.
Also, for some of the people that are complaining, don't try to thinly veil what you're saying. Say what you want to say.
I don't want a black guy in this game.
Yes.
That's really what they want to say. That isn't my opinion. I want to make that clear. But I'm just saying that is clearly what y'all are thinking. But you're just afraid to say it because you don't want people to realize what you really are. I'm just like, and he's a great character. And I've had so much fun, like, doing his missions. I got to have a one-on-one duel with Yagyu Munenori. That's fucking awesome. I got to fucking, start a romance with Lady Cha-Cha's mother, Lady Oichi. That's fucking dope. Cha-Cha became one of my biggest allies, which I only knew Cha-Cha because of FGO.
Nah. Yes.
Yeah. Because I was like, wait, who is this character? It's like Lady Nene, and I was like, her full name is Lady Yodo. I was like, oh, Lady Yodo, I know who that is. That's Cha-Cha. Hi, Cha-Cha. What are you doing here? And I instantly knew it was Cha-Cha because she was married to Hideyoshi. I was like, oh yeah, Cha-Cha's married to Hideyoshi. That's cool. Also, the thing that I really like is that Hideyoshi is shown to be a devout follower of Hachiman. So he has a lot of monkey regalia and imagery with his armor, which is funny because the nickname Nobunaga gave to Hideyoshi was Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really cool. It has a lot of fun references. I am a terrible ninja, but shocker, I prefer to just bonk people with a katana.
Yep.
You know, simple. I'm a simple man. There are also some really fun romance options. Like Yasuke also can romance a non-binary swords person.
Nice.
Like I was confused at first. I was like, is this a femboy? I was like, if it's a femboy, it's totally cool. I'm down. I'm still down with this romance option. But I looked it up. I was like, is this a dude? It's like, oh, it's a non-binary person. Huh. So they're a male presenting binary. Well, I don't know if they're male presenting, but like I was confused.
So, but you're saying, I think the term that you're looking for is AMAB,
There you go.
assigned male at birth.
There you go. But yeah, that was really interesting. Also, Naoe ends up can have a romance with a adorable sassy female ninja.
Nice.
So that was cool. But yeah, so those games are fun. I'm still having a blast with it. I got lost in the sauce, man. Like I will play. Assassin's Creed is one of those games that has kind of turned into like a new persona for me, where I'll just be playing it for like hours and like before Rivals had their new season, I was playing Assassin's Creed until like 4 a.m. on weekends. Obviously, I couldn't do that during the work week, but like on weekends, I was playing until like 4 or 5 a.m. There's just so much to do. It's really fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So Brian, what about you? What have you consumed in between podcast episodes in terms of media?
Well, first of all, for me, I'm the type of person sometimes where it's hard for me to like stop with a TV show if I'm already started.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's been slow because I've only been watching it during like my breaks and all, I have been watching Devil May Cry. 6 episodes in.
Nice. I only got like
and
3 or 4.
I am really liking it. Lady, it gets a little annoying.
I mean, Lady, if you played Devil May Cry 3, Lady is kind.
Yeah, because this is for those that don't know, this isn't like the 07 version where the 07 version was canon to the Devil May Cry games. This is like in its own separate universe, heavily inspired by 3.
Also, side note, I figured out why Johnny is now Dante. Turns out the original voice for Dante is a crazy conspiracy theory spouting right winger. So Netflix was like, nope. Which is also why he got replaced as the voice of Ken Masters for Street Fighter 6, because he was the English voice for Ken for a very long time as well.
Huh. But yeah, so I think Johnny's doing a good job.
Oh yeah. It's still weird for me, but I like it.
But also, second weird voice in here. Did not expect it. Nobody warned us. The vice president, fucking Kevin Conroy.
What? Oh yeah, you're right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Which confused the fuck out of me, because it was like, didn't they say his last thing was the Justice League? Or yeah.
I guess that was his last Batman. Because I thought so too, but then I heard it and then Googled it.
See, I heard it, but I didn't think that was him. I was just like, no, it can't be Kevin Conroy.
Also, from what I've heard, Tony will only get this reference, but it's kind of like Lance Reddick in Vox Machina Season 3.
Yeah.
Where he's only voicing him for part of the season, and then it gets picked up by a different voice actor because he passed away.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm really liking it. Episode 6. Oh.
You know, you should have been watching another show with Devil in the title, because man, oh man. Let me tell you something. I didn't really talk about it in my screen time, but real quick, Jesus Christ, episode 8. Man.
Oh, which we might be talking about that very soon.
Wink, wink, and nudge, nudge.
But yeah, so I've been watching Devil May Cry and I've been really liking episode 6. They do it in a different art style and it's really good.
Oh, nice.
And there's not a lot of dialogue. Jay, you specifically know a lot about Devil May Cry.
Yes.
So not really spoilers are too bad of a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Episode 6 is mostly just the origins of Lady and the White Rabbit.
Oh, okay. So like
And-
the stuff with Lady's dad and all that, like that whole experiment thing, him working with Virgil.
Well, we've only gotten to the experimental part, but not
Is Virgil in the show? Like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I've seen, like, he's been shown, but like, is he like in it?
well,
I've only seen, like I
at
said, I've
least
only seen a handful of episodes.
he's made an appearance.
And he's not voiced by Eric the Quantum Ranger.
No, he's voiced by Robbie Damon.
Still cool, but dang, I really liked him as Virgil.
Yeah. But anyway, and also they do this interesting thing where the Devil Realm
Mhm.
is a completely different art style.
Oh, that's cool. They kind of did that in the reboot games, the sucky reboot games, but the actual architecture of the Devil Realm was actually a cool part of those games. The level design was.
Also, for like I'd say 70% of the episode, not a single line of dialogue is said.
Interesting.
But they do play a brand new, made for the show Evanescence song.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I've seen that on Twitter.
This was the episode that it's used in, episode 6.
Nice.
Because if you know the lore and you know the lore of White Rabbit and Lady, things get intense.
Mhm.
But anyway, so I've been really liking that. But also, like Jay mentioned, things have been a little bit hectic here for me, so wanting to keep on the lighter side. So I've been marathoning, catching up with on Dropout, Make Some Noise. Great episodes. I won't like summarize all of them, but some of the episode titles are a kid who's definitely the reason their parents got divorced.
Damn.
Yikes. The fuck?
That was the one with all three of them. With Kimia, if you know that name, who made a guest appearance on Abbott Elementary,
Oh, cool. Love that. Love it.
was the kid. The one toxic person in every Improv 101 class. The obituary of someone who definitely faked their own death. The black version of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh god.
They actually have done that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a movie somewhere. Cause there was a whole era where they did shit like that. Like there's like a hip hop opera version of Carmen that came out in the 2000s. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
shit was crazy.
Tell you this. In my experience, I've seen many a modern, quote unquote, adaptation of Shakespeare plays. Some of them are good.
My
Some of them.
my favorite silly one is the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet.
That was a Baz Luhrmann production. That shit is insane.
It's so fucking silly. It's great.
No,
No.
my favorite is an adaptation of the Scottish play where it's not even the one with Sir Patrick Stewart in it.
Ah,
No, that's Richard III. That was Richard III. My bad. That one, for whatever reason, was set during World War II or World War One.
huh.
Is that the Scottish play one was set in modern day and had like a crime thriller connection to it.
Huh.
It was like fucking weird.
That seems wild.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
the one that had Magneto and Professor X?
Yeah, that might
No.
you might be right.
No,
No.
it did not. It did not.
I believe they did recently work together on a Shakespearean adaptation that took
Yeah,
place
that
in
was
modern
cool.
time.
That was a Richard III one.
Oh,
that-
that's what you were
that-
talking about. Okay.
That was during World War II.
Oh, it was? I thought it was modern time. Oh,
No.
oh well.
More
It had a very
well, it's modern for Shakespeare comparison.
Yes. And
Okay.
so yes, shit like that, it just amuses me greatly, especially if it's spoken in the actual script of the play, which
Yeah.
all of these productions have,
Well,
and it's
well,
hysterical.
That's the thing that's the thing that always makes me laugh with these is that they still keep the Shakespearean English,
Mm-hmm.
and it like
Yeah.
it really breaks my immersion. Like
Well,
you have a cell phone and you're saying things like "hark."
Well,
My favorite one of these things is my horse, my king, and 4 horse while yelling at a fucking car that just
Yeah.
is the mud.
oh, damn. But bringing it back to this, this wasn't an all-black cast for this episode, and they used the like modern ebonics.
Oh, nice.
And then another episode that I watched, titled "A Date That Is Only Red Flags," where
Most
the
of
two
mine.
improvers try to like out red flag each other for a first date.
So anything that Jay's ever done in the past?
I can't.
Hey.
I can't look. I can't even fight that one. He's not lying. No lies detected here.
Well, and then the last one that I'm currently watching right now. One of the things is if you watch this, Brendan Lee Mulligan, he is very definitely anti like billionaire and will go
Yeah.
on rants easily, especially about one certain billionaire,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Doge. If you catch my drift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Even before the political stuff happened, he had a hate boner for him.
Well, yeah, he ruined Twitter.
one of Brendan's prompts for this episode was a takedown of billionaires, Rihanna, Beyonce, and Oprah.
Oh no, those are the ones that I actually like.
Well, see, that's the thing is going ahead and spoiling it a bit. It's him. The bit is him trying to like avoid it completely and like not like talk around it and then try to do magic to get out of the situation.
Oh, that's funny.
Wizardry.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then
That just confirmed that Brendan Lee Mulligan is based to me.
yeah, and then lastly, Game Changer is back, and watch the first episode of that. It's called 1 Year Later.
Mhm.
And if you remember, last season, talked about an episode called Sam Says, where it was just like him putting the three of the contestants through the ringers, and like Sam says do this, Sam says don't do this, and like don't react while scaring the shit out of them. Anyway, I went on a whole thing about it. Well, apparently in that episode, the Sam Says 3, which had the cast members Vic, Jacob, and Lou, which are three people which, if you know them, all three of them will heavily commit to a bit. And apparently after they filmed that, Sam brought them back together and said, hey, filming for season 7, and then when it filmed, they said, okay, so here's a dossier with 15 tasks, and you have 1 year to complete them.
All right.
So they
And then this is the pickup where they reveal what they did, and whoever did it the best gets points.
All right.
And
Oh
it's
my
stuff
God.
like we gave you this certain amount of money in an investment account. Who can raise the most money? One person did it the old-fashioned way with stocks. One tried to use scratch cards. And one tried to do a vending machine, but bought a broken vending machine and ended up trying to beg for money from Sam, Shark Tank style.
Oh my God.
Yep. And
Fair.
one of them was here's a cardboard cutout of Sam. Who can take Sam to the most remote location? One went on a road trip and like went to the middle of nowhere to a mine and like had the cardboard cutout like old school elevator down into the mine. One had a friend who worked in Antarctica, so had it shipped to Antarctica. And then the third one just bought a shit ton of remotes and put it on top of remote controls.
Huh.
Because literally, remote location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that's the one I would give the points to. That's clever.
It's but personally for me, I would pick the one to take to Antarctica.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's definitely like the most like literally out there location.
And
Yeah.
some of them were like milder, like who can do the best magic trick, and then some of them were like bigger, like who can gain the most followers on Spotify. And one of them just did like Weird Al covers, while another one did a fake audiobook to a fictional romance novel. And then one of them like created a musical group with their real life childhood friends, but ended up liking it so much that the fake band became a real band.
Oh, that's wild.
That's insane.
Yep. And they did a bunch of insane stuff, and it's one of the best Game Changer episodes of all time, my opinion. And it was great, and it culminated in a weird existential ending, really good. I will say that the last prompt though was who can collect the most locks of hair of people that they know.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, and it did not end where you would think.
Oh god.
I don't even know where I would think, to be honest.
But anyway, that was all I watched.
Real quick before we jump to Tony, I want to do a small comic spotlight on one of the few books I covered last week, because I only had like 3. You should go check out the Comic Chaser video anyway. But I want to highlight my book of the week in particular for this week because holy shit. Absolute Batman issue number 8. So a lot of you guys know Scott Snyder from his epic run on Batman, from the New 52, and rightfully so. It was a classic run, did some amazing stuff with all these great art. But Tony and I know Scott Snyder as one of the best comic horror writers working today. And let me tell you something, Scott Snyder reminds y'all that Scott Snyder knows how to write horror with this issue of Absolute Batman issue number 7, because this is the introduction of Absolute Mr. Freeze, and Absolute Mr. Freeze is straight up nightmare fuel.
Like, he is completely different from his main timeline version.
Yeah. And it's fucking terrifying.
Isn't he like tall as fuck?
He's tall, lanky, emaciated, and like, so I'll go ahead and spoil the comic. So if you haven't read it, like, spoiler alert, skip past this, I guess. But so this Victor Freeze, that is Mr. Freeze, is Victor Freeze Jr. And so he was actually inflicted with a rare disease, and so his mother and father, Victor Sr. and Nora, make the company, pioneer all the cryogenic tech, and they freeze him until they can develop a cure for his disease. Eventually they do, and the cure is not only a combination of cryogenics, but these rare bacterium and parasites. And so Victor Sr. and his wife are also now frozen because they basically, have started this cult of people that have decided to freeze themselves and only want to unfreeze themselves when the world has become a better place. So, like, they're just stuck in suspended animation. But meanwhile, Victor Jr. is, like, lanky, emaciated. His skin is, like, blue, and he's covered in these fucking parasites. It's so freaky, dude. Like, the final page reveal of what Victor Jr. actually looks like is crazy.
Nice. And from what I've heard, they hinted at the fact that Batman Bruce might have to ask for help from his old school friends who are like Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, I mean,
such.
he's been doing that. And also something interesting that we found out in this issue. So you know how Batman traditionally went around the world and had all these different mentors and shit. So in the Absolute universe, he did the same, but within Gotham, except all his quote-unquote mentors was him just hanging out with his friends and studying with his friends. So he became a paralegal and studied law with Harvey. He fucking, trained in martial arts and fighting with Killer Croc. He learned the ins and outs of the criminal underworld with Ozzy. And also, he had a friend who was very good at forging documents, and getting credentials into places by the name of Matches Malone.
Nice.
Yeah. So Matches Malone is a real person in the Absolute universe. For those of you who don't know, Matches Malone is Bruce's secret identity for when he goes undercover in the criminal underworld. Although, should I say, Matches Malone was a real person because he got got. He got. And it was him getting got where, all of Bruce's Crime Alley buddies, his Crime Alley gang are like, all right, Bruce, tell us what the fuck is going on with all this Batman shit. Because you told us last issue that you were Batman, and we helped you out to defeat Black Mask. But what the fuck is happening here, bro? And Bruce is like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't want you guys to get involved. And Enigma Eddie is like, dude, we were kind of always involved. You studied with me and learned technology so you could make all your gadgets. You learned law with Harvey. Waylon taught you how to fight people. we were kind of already involved. You should have just fucking told us, bro.
Nice.
And so, like, it's interesting. So it's like, I'm curious. So I'm like, so are they not gonna be his villains now? Are they just gonna be his friend? And they're gonna be his version of the Bat family?
Or is it like him not telling them and being honest, like our least favorite trope? Did nobody fucking communicate?
Yeah. Again, that's another thing that I'm wondering, because they're actually having a conversation. So this makes me think like, oh, they're actually talking about it. So are they just gonna solve this, and like instead of becoming their villain, she's gonna be their friend? Huh?
Yeah.
Or shit about to get really angsty.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could go either
They're
way.
gonna have fallouts.
It could go either way. We don't know. I'm honestly the most interested in Harvey. I want to see if Harvey just becomes his friend, and we get in this universe a world where Harvey Dent is a good guy through and through.
Well, here's the question. Does Harvey already have the scar or not?
No, he's just a regular ass Harvey.
Then he might when he gets the scar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could happen, or it could be he gets his face fucked up, and then he just gets regular ass plastic surgery, and it's just like, oh, cool. Because I had this friend the whole time, I actually had someone who believed in me, and you know, I don't have to go crazy. I can just get plastic surgery and fix my fucking face.
Which I will say in a similar vein makes me think about in the last season of Vox, things go differently, but they've said that's because they didn't have like the scheduling issue with Ashley, so Pike could be there more, and because Pike was there, it changed the outcome of shit.
Oh, interesting.
So in a similar vein to what you were saying, Jay. But also, real quick, I've heard that things are getting interesting with main timeline Bruce as well.
I mean, yeah, the Hush 2 is going on. There's only been one issue out, and not much has happened, so, like...
I was hearing more from Batman and Robin.
Oh, I haven't been reading Batman and Robin, so I have no idea what's going on over there.
Bruce is dating Joe Chill's daughter?
That happened... that happened in Detective. That happened in Detective.
Oh, I was talking about Detective then. But,
that I know about, yeah. That I've been following that, yeah.
And come to find out, she's running a ring of like exploiting.
So it's a little it's interesting. It's like an Elizabeth Bathory kind of thing. Essentially, she's like taking the blood of orphan children and injecting it into rich people so that they can be youthful forever.
Yeah, and in order to help take it down, Damien actually went undercover. Detective has been really interesting, and also it's a whole thing because like Joe Chill's daughter doesn't actually have anything to do with Joe Chill. Joe Chill was an abusive piece of shit, and actually Bruce's dad discovered that she was pregnant when he actually treated her for her injuries, and he and Martha helped her get into witness protection and helped her escape Joe, so she actually has nothing to do with her father. Yeah, but also made Bruce think that maybe his parents' death wasn't
accidental. Yeah, you know, he had an actual axe to grind. Yeah, there was a lot of discourse online about that. Personally, I think it's an interesting story. I don't really care about adding this extra layer to Joe Chill.
I think if I heard right, because I saw a video about it, I think that Batman does confront Joe Chill about it, and he has no idea what he's talking about.
Gotcha. I didn't even know Joe Chill was still alive.
Apparently he is.
But yeah, alright. So anyways, now that I got to talk about Absolute Batman issue number 7, Tony, what about you?
Tony.
What, is there anything you want to highlight in particular?
Well, I think it was long before we actually shifted our topic, but I've been watching like video essays a lot on YouTube recently.
Nice.
And they're all connected to horror to a degree.
Nice.
So, one is a 3-hour video essay basically talking about It by Stephen King.
Nice.
Because the whole premise of the whole thesis of this video essay is the YouTuber / streamer Y2K basically reads at the beginning of her video an excerpt from It, where it's Bill in a college course basically saying stupid shit like themes isn't cool. Why don't we just tell a good story? Why does it has to be socio-political anything? So her whole thesis is like, oh, so we're not going to talk about themes, even though you, the author, King, in the 80s, didn't say this was just a scary story without themes?
King is the king of themes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was just basically... And also, Steven was coked out of his mind in the 80s.
100%.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, we all have
Bro.
heard, we all have heard the Cujo story.
Bro doesn't even remember that he did Cujo, which is insane. So I take some things at face value when it comes to Steven's written work, but I also don't read too much into what his characters say, even though they are author inserts like Bill from It.
Which, by the way, fun fact connecting Scott Snyder and Stephen King. Did you know that apparently it's like Scott Snyder and Joe Hill were very good friends? And that's actually why Stephen King wrote the backup stories for American Vampire in those American Vampire comics.
Nice. I like it. That is cool as fuck. But yeah, like, Y2K goes into detail about each individual character of the Losers Club, talking about some things with Pennywise, even that water itself is viewed as a negative force inside the book. She even talks about the most controversial part of the book itself.
Oh, the child orgy?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was mentioned. A lot of people don't want to talk about that for good reason.
I mean, yeah, understandable.
But since it's part of the book and how the characters try to handle things.
Me and Jordan have brought this up so many times of like, yo, for real, like this had to go past several editors, and nobody of that team of editors sat there and read this and was like, hey, yo, Steve, we got to take this out.
Yeah. And they were like,
I understand what you're trying to do. This is supposed to symbolize the Losers Club literally losing their sense of innocence, and that way Pennywise can no longer track them or chase them down. It's the whole metaphysical thing. But we cannot have kids have an orgy in the sewers.
Yeah. On top of that, it's amusing to me that it's something that I didn't really think about, that Ricky is bisexual coded.
Oh, Richie
in the book.
Yeah, Richie. Yeah, they make it much more clear in the Muschietti It duology.
No, in the films, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The film, the It duology. Because it's a 2-part movie.
Mm-hmm. And for a thick book, I mean, thick.
Oh yeah, you could kill somebody with that shit.
Yeah, I actually have it in my bookshelf, so it's a thick motherfucker. And just a lot of parts of the book are more disturbing than the film adaptation. Like the miniseries and the film, those things are relatively tame compared to what the actual book is.
It's heavily implied that one of the bullies graped Richie.
Well, technically, okay. So in the book, Patrick Hochstetter is a legitimate psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who don't know, Patrick suffers from a mental disorder where he believes he's the only real thing in the universe, and he basically cut his little brother out of existence just because he could.
Yep.
Because he thought that his brother would also exist, which would make him exist less in the universe. And since he believes he's the only real thing in the universe, he never had anything to fear, which caused Pennywise to basically take him out of the equation. And since Patrick never really had anything to fear, Pennywise couldn't find anything to use him to feed on his fear. Like the only relative thing that he had to fear were leeches. And also, Patrick liked to keep local animals in a fridge in the junkyard.
Yep, I remember that.
So this kid is messed up. And also, Patrick gave the primary bully a hand, if you catch my drift.
Yep.
And what's the name of the one girl in the Losers Club?
Beverly.
Yeah, Bev. Yeah, Beverly saw that happen when she was hiding from Pennywise, which is okay.
All right.
Damn, girl.
Weird flex.
The book itself is a cavalcade of messed up shit for whatever reason. Also, Bev and Bill bone as adults in the book.
Yeah.
It's messy as fuck. And she also, Y2K actually did a 3-part essay for each. each part is a specific season of a show you two covered before in the past.
Oh, Once Upon a Time?
No. You've talked about this in the past. It was on Netflix, and it was based off of a book about a certain character's self-deletion.
Oh, 13 Reasons Why!
Oh yeah.
Yes. She covered 3 of the 4 seasons.
It starts off really good and then
So good.
plummets downhill.
So
and also-
badly.
And I did a little bit more digging into it.
Because the first book is actually really good. I read that book back in high school. It's actually very good.
Yeah, I did some digging into that. Just the structure of the book kind of made sense, even though that in its I saw a lot of discourse on that. Like, I watched various different video essays on it.
Well, see, because the thing about 13 Reasons, right, is like a lot of people, like, specifically for the show, and the same discourse was also said about the book, but more so for the show. The big thing about like the first season in particular, a lot of people were talking about how this glorified self-deletion, but if you actually watch the show, no, it didn't. It made it look terrifying and horrible. Like, that is the one, like, I've gone back and I watched the show, but that is the one episode that I can't watch.
Well, you can't watch it literally because
they deleted the scene.
But also, there is another scene with her that I just can't watch because it's part of the reason why.
Oh yeah, the essay scene.
Hot tub.
Yeah, the essay scene.
That one is bad too. But yeah, and I will give 13 Reasons Why credit. Even though the last season or 2 sucked, the ending, the end.
Oh yeah, it was a very good ending, but like to get there was a lot of bullshit. And also, the only thing that I don't like at the overall with the show is that they try to humanize the worst character of the entire show.
The number one reason, basically, they try to humanize him.
Making Justin more sympathetic makes a lot of sense. Justin went through a lot of shit, and he wasn't really a bad guy. Making Jessica more sympathetic made a lot of sense. She made a lot of mistakes. She didn't know what was going on. Sometimes you just don't know what's happening in your friends' lives. But fucking Bryce was evil, and I get it. They had him get off on the actual court charges because they wanted to parallel the whole Brock Turner thing, because it's very much similar to the Brock Turner case, if you're familiar with that. Brock Turner was I believe he was a college senior that got accused, and there was a mound of evidence proving that he SA'd a few girls at his college, but because he was rich and white, he got off. He was acquitted.
And also an athlete.
Yeah, and an athlete. But yeah, so I get that part. But then they try to give him this sad, my parents never loved me backstory, and I don't care, dude. No, you're the worst. I'm not gonna like you. Leave me alone. Fuck off, show.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I was trying to piece together, all of this mess is just fucking ridiculous.
It is.
No, like we said, the first season is really good because it's where they had the structure most. You know what it reminds me of? It's Game of Thrones because the season one is just a direct adaptation of the book, and it's very good. But everything afterwards, they're just kind of freestyling, and it's what the fuck?
And,
that comparison, and it makes a lot of sense, at least to me.
And there were good elements in the later end, Clay and Justin's brother bonding was good.
Yeah, and also the development of Hannah's mom as a character was very well done. All of that was pretty solid. And also, gotta give credit, Selena Gomez. That's one of Selena Gomez's first big credits as a producer. And that, like I said, that first season, really fucking good. And it put Catherine Langford on the map, even though I really don't see her doing much these days, which is sad.
Yeah, I think her thing kind of teetered when she got cut from Endgame.
Yeah. Because wasn't she supposed to be older Morgan?
Yeah. Because we were supposed to see Tony in that weird Soul Stone limbo where he gets to talk to her.
Yep.
But the Russos decided that this big of a story, having an end credits kind of cut it a
Yeah.
little, which I understand.
Honestly, that was probably the better choice. But yeah, okay, interesting. Anything else you want to highlight, Tony?
And I also went on a bit of a big kick on looking really deep into The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh, dude, have you watched those yet?
No, just video essays on all of those.
Bro, you gotta watch The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor. You can skip Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass was kind of meh. But Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor are fucking amazing. Bly Manor had such a good twist.
I decided to go about it differently because I knew they were adaptations of different stories from different authors.
Mm-hmm.
I watched to see an interesting comparison between various different adaptations of that particular story, from the original novel by Shirley Jackson to a 1960s production called The Haunting, and then the 1999 controversial one, and then Hill House, and how they are not, well, the Flanagan is more of like a modern reinterpretation of the original story.
Yep.
And not a one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to see how things are going about it differently, and the themes is something I can really get into because I actually really do like ghost stories and how.
Oh, dude, the themes for Hill House and like kind of just it's you know what I call it, and I've explained this to people and like they laugh, but if you've seen it, it makes total sense. Brian, you'll get a kick out of this. How I describe it to people is, what if Encanto was a horror movie?
Yes, I see that. I get it.
Yeah, so I'm all for Mike Flanagan stuff. I like it, and how Bly Manor is basically taking various different works from the author who did Bly Manor and just combining it into one. Kind of like how
meshing it into one super narrative, like how Fall of the House of Usher did that. Yeah,
that's just Haunting of Bly Manor works.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that very fascinating, and I really want to check those out when I have a...
Dude, you should. We covered both of those on the podcast previously. And...
Also, it's not as great as those two, but he also did the Bly Manor thing with Midnight Club,
which we also covered on the podcast previously. I believe that was actually our first episode, like post the Twitch version, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It might have been.
And I know for a fact Fall of the House of Usher was one of our lost episodes of our previous season.
That's unfortunate, because that was one of our favorites. We did talk about that in the year-end wrap-up of that year.
It was one of our favorites from the year-end wrap-up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Hamill and Martian Manhunter having a back and forth.
Yeah.
And you know what's hilarious about that? Because the actor who plays... Dupont, we actually saw him before in another thing we covered in this season.
Oh.
Because he's Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh.
Yeah. Well, Dan and I in particular have like seen him in a bunch of shit. Like he was also in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, he played, ironically enough, he played Jean's father as a nice homage to his role as Jean in the Justice League.
He was going through Martian dementia, basically.
Yeah, where the crazy taxing use of telepathy was eventually degenerating his mind.
That is interesting. But really looking into the, like, if you actually, but back to Hill House, looking into the original story of Hill House is so interesting. And then looking into Shirley Jackson's other stories.
I'm going to have to look into that because I like Shirley Jackson as an author. I've read a lot of her stuff.
Yeah.
Like her version of Hill House is actually very fast. Like the original story of Hill House is basically going to a haunted house. It's just 4 central characters. It's just Dr. Montague, Theo, Eleanor or Nell, and then Luke. Mm-hmm. Just those 4 characters for a good portion of the story until Montague's wife and a random motherfucker come in. And the story pretty much ends with a bit of a sad death for one of the characters. Well, since our focus character is Nell, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've seen the Hill House, the Flanagan Hill House show, you know who it is.
Yeah. But
which is the one like shared actress between Hill House and Bly Manor.
Yeah, Theo's actress, isn't that Flanagan's wife?
Oh wait, no, then it's 2 because Nell was also the lead in
Nell
Bly Manor.
Nell was the lead in Bly Manor. Yeah.
So there are 2 actresses.
Well,
'Cause
the thing
yeah.
I'm pointing out here is that so Nell goes by a different like the original Nell goes her name is Eleanor Vance
Mhm.
in the original story, and the Cranes were the original owners of Hill House in the book. So I found that very fascinating. And Theo in the book was a woman who is giving like real lesbian vibes back then,
Oh,
because this book
and,
was.
I mean, Theo is gay as fucking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was like
Theo is basically gay Jay.
yeah.
Facts.
So
Facts.
but here's the thing. Theo in the story, which this story was published in 1957.
Yeah, it was like the late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm. So she was like, I wanted to get out of a situation with a friend of mine.
And Shirley Jackson, I don't think it's ever been confirmed, but Shirley Jackson has often been speculated to be sapphic as well.
Well, she just hated, from what I can understand from a lot of video essays that I saw talking about Miss Jackson, is that she was just not a big fan of domestic life, and I could be wrong, but that's just from what my understanding was. And one of like a story that I found very fascinating when it came to Miss Jackson is her story, The Lottery.
Oh yeah, that's iconic. I remember reading that in high school.
And listening to all of these different horror stories, and after my own experience with something relatively paranormal.
Oh, the work thing?
I decided I might want to write my own little short story.
So, can I tell the story?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, real quick, and then we're gonna transition into the next segment. I promise you guys, but this is fun. So, me and Tony just kind of chat to ourselves a lot. Like, you know, we just kind of have conversations, and we also meet up to because I'm Tony's editor for the current slice of life romance YA romance story that he's writing right now. And, you know, we were just kind of shooting the shit after we had finished talking shop about the book. And he was telling me the story that happened to him at work about, like, essentially a haunted Alexa. Not you. I forgot you were here. But a haunted...
You can't say her name.
A haunted smart device that, like, they unplugged at work, but it kept still playing music, and then it kept calling Tony's name.
No, it was plugged in at the time. It was plugged in at the time. It called out my name 5 times, then played "Falling in Love with You" by Elvis. It's always that one because it happens.
Yep. So you know, there's a ghost that has a crush on Tony, y'all. His girlfriend better watch out. Ghost yanderees are the worst kind. They'll follow you everywhere, even to the great beyond.
Yep. And when it comes to a lot of experiences, don't freak me out when it comes to that sort of thing, but this one unnerved me.
No,
reasonably so.
He told me because I, as I've said on numerous occasions when we've done content around haunting and spirits and stuff, as a devout Catholic and a person who doesn't consider themselves religious but does consider themselves very spiritual, I believe wholeheartedly in spirits, and I've had several experiences with that, and I don't fuck with this shit, bruh. That's why I constantly carry around a rosary and a small bottle of holy water. Like, you think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? But I do legit carry around in my bag a rosary and a tiny bottle of holy water from Jerusalem.
Yep. He's not kidding about that. And I'm like, yo, why do I have to be the one that deals with this shit?
Oh man, but yeah, okay, so
Well honestly, given where you work,
that's what I told him.
I'm surprised this is the first time.
That's what I told him. I was like, you kind of, given your line of work, you're kind of in an epicenter. You're at basically the way station.
Acknowledge that fact, but also, let me explain to you like this. It doesn't unnerve me that this stuff happens, because I'm well aware of it. But when it's, like, pinpointed.
Yeah, and it's directly targeted at you, yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, so... to move on to a lighter, happier topic, let's transition into our next segment, which is, of course, Trailer Talk. Trailer Talk is the segment of the podcast where our boy Brian has gathered together 6, count them, 6 brand new trailers as of the recording of this podcast, and you guys can check out that playlist by clicking down on that link in the description below and checking it out for yourselves. And through the magic of editing, we shall return in a matter of seconds after we have reacted to the trailers ourselves, and we'll give you guys our rapid fire reactions. So do yourself a favor at this moment, pause the video, watch that playlist, and then by the time you unpause, we will be able to give you guys our thoughts on those trailers. But for that brief moment in time where you won't be hearing our lovely voices, please enjoy this word from our non-existent sponsors. And we're back. Okay, really good batch of trailers. We don't have to talk too deeply about the Marvel Rivals trailer because I already gushed about Marvel Rivals Season 2 in my screen time. But let's just say it again. Season 2's fire. Those fits, all fire. Emma, hit me up. I need if I've discovered the way I want to die. I want to be crushed. I want my head to be crushed by Emma Frost's giant diamond thunder thighs. My goodness. Absolutely beautiful. Like, I have always been a thigh person. I mean, duh. If you guys know me at all, you know that one of my like top waifus and like top tsundere of all time is the Queen of Thighs herself, Rin Tosaka. So I've always been a thigh guy. So Emma Frost has me eating good. So I'm here for it. I'm also interested to see if we'll actually get Ultron in the game. Like, he does have a full kit, so it seems way more likely as compared to Dracula, but I am curious because he'll be the first antagonist that we actually get as a playable character.
Yeah, he'll be coming in after Emma.
Yep, that is what they say in the.
Yep.
No, that's actually what's been confirmed. It's
they fully confirmed it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's next.
Nice.
Nice.
Also, I just love the jokes that have been coming around, like going around the community. It's just this one meme picture that has just Sue, Dagger, and Emma standing together, and it says and like it has a picture of Miles, and like his eyes are all swirly, and it says Snow Bunny mind control. It's just hilarious.
Well, we do know that Miles already has a thing for.
He does have a thing for blondes. Blondes are way too old for you, Miles. Just saying, she's like 24. You're like 17 at most. She was pretending to be a high schooler to blend in. She wasn't actually a high schooler. Because we saw her Earth, and she has the same exact backstory and the same band that she forms in college.
Yep.
And she's dating Hobie, who is clearly, like, way older and at the very least early 20s.
But moving on from something that y'all expected to something that really caught you off guard.
Yeah.
Fountain of Youth.
That shit looks dope as hell. I like what Tony says, because that pretty much sums it up. It feels like this was supposed to be an Indiana Jones movie, but it's an Indiana Jones movie directed by Guy Ritchie, starring Natalie Portman and John Krasinski. I'm watching this shit. This has convinced me. Fuck it, I might just buy Apple TV Plus.
And it might be our first Apple TV movie to cover.
Yeah.
And I will say, I will give them credit. I Googled something, because I don't know about y'all, but I noticed there wasn't really any romantic chemistry between the two.
Yeah, they just look like friends, which is refreshing.
It's because they're not romantic interest or friends.
Oh, rivals?
They're siblings.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And they're not siblings from Alabama, so there you go.
Yep. Purdue is their last name.
Oh, like the university. Or the chicken.
Yep. But also in the movie is the Mexican chick from Baby Driver.
Oh, the sexy crazy one. She's everywhere.
And Domhnall Gleeson.
I do remember seeing Domhnall Gleeson. See, that's why
Stanley.
That's why that sexy chick with the black hair looks so familiar. That was the girl from Baby
Stanley
Driver.
Tucci. The Tooch.
Yep.
And then also, I don't know if you guys clocked it. I did in the trailer. Friend of the show, and I can say that because he actually did comment on one of our things.
Oh, Mother's Milk.
Laz Alonso.
Oh shit, Mother's Milk. He actually, yeah. So fun story if you're new to the podcast. When we covered the first season of The Boys, Lonzo actually not only like retweeted our episode, but left a comment on the video. It's no longer there because my channel is defunct.
And also, this was back during the OG YouTube Live days.
Yep. But yeah, oh shit, yeah, we can legit say friend of the show for this one. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but
also
yes.
because we record on weekends now, we can actually get back to doing like hangout type stuff. So we'll probably just watch this all together at some point.
But
since Tony doesn't have Apple TV, and we figured out a way to screen share.
Yeah, and we did that with
Franklin.
Yeah,
and Monarch.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But a movie that we are looking forward to, but probably won't cover for the show, Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah, it looks fun. It's Jack Quaid and Jeffrey Dean Morgan having a boys reunion, teaming up for a buddy cop film.
Because this is minor spoiler alert, but both of them were on The Boys, but they never interacted with each other.
Nope. But yeah, they're basically just playing their stereotypical characters. You know, grizzled, old, experienced, like badass, and Jack Quaid playing his usual lovable, adorable, oblivious, everyman.
Yeah, just this time with a sprinkling of neurospiciness and a perm.
I mean, all of his characters kind of are very neurodivergent coded when you look at it.
True. But not all of them have a perm. This one does.
Oh yeah. The closest thing he has is Clark's S-curl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And then the last movie that we had on this list, Tron Ares.
Which looks really dope. I want to know how they reverse isekai off the grid and into the real world.
True.
Yeah.
Because that's weird.
Like, is this like a Digimon R War game situation?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Shout out to anybody who got that reference. You're an OG if you actually remember watching Digimon R War game, which is arguably, and in my opinion, the best Digimon movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's the only Digimon movie that was in theaters in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, technically, the adventure movies had like a theatrical run, but I'm not going to count that.
Yep. A highly sophisticated program, Ares, is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission.
Oh, so it is a fucking Digimon R War Games fucking situation. Crazy. All right.
Yep. And
so do we know if this is connected to Legacy at all, or if this is a reboot? Because like Legacy was connected to the original Tron movie from the 80s. That's why Jeff Bridges was there.
We don't know, but it is the same director as Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
All right. Interesting.
But yeah, it looks interesting. We said,
that honestly might be one we cover. It looks cool enough.
Yeah, it stars Leto, but also in the cast is Evan Peters.
Yep.
Jodie Turner-Smith, Greta Lee.
Don't know. I've never heard of Greta Lee. I know who Jodie Turner.
She's the Asian girl that you saw. The thing that you. She got a lot of fame for the recent Past Lives movie.
Oh, okay.
But the thing that you'd know her best from, Jay, is she was one of the best friends in Russian Doll.
Oh, the Natasha Lyonne series where like they were stuck in the time loop. Yeah. Gotta get up and on it.
Oh, Cameron Monaghan is in it?
Oh shit, from Shameless / Jedi Fallen Order / Gotham?
Yep, and Gillian Anderson?
From X-Files, Gillian Anderson?
Yep.
Oh shit.
But, I
actually have a friend named Gillian Anderson.
Oh, nice. But, to answer your question, Jay, it might be connected to the original because Jeff Bridges is set to return.
Oh, okay. So it's just a long-awaited sequel. I wonder if they're also going to acknowledge the cartoon. Which, by the way, if you guys like Tron and you did not watch Tron Legacy, which I don't blame you, me and only like a handful of people did, but Tron Legacy is an amazing animated series that nobody ever watched. That they totally should.
Oh yeah. And it's weird because Jeff Bridges is returning as Kevin Flynn, but the lead character will be Jared Leto.
So I guess they recasted his son, maybe? Question mark.
Or his son is Sir not appearing in this film.
Or maybe it's like an Indiana Jones situation where the son died in a war off screen.
Oh, yep. And I did Google it. I was right. Instead of Daft Punk, this time it'll be Nine Inch Nails.
Odd choice, but from what we heard in the trailer, I like the music.
Well, it's not the first time that they've done movies.
Oh yeah.
They've done movies before.
I'm not saying it's weird they did movies. I'm just saying it's weird they're doing Tron, which is a heavily like, you know, when you think Tron, you think techno and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Um,
that type of shit.
well, also,
Yeah.
wasn't their first time doing movies? They did The Social Network.
Yeah. They did The Social Network.
And that one was more electronic.
That's fair.
But anyway, moving on to TV, we had 2 TV shows.
Yep.
Vastly different tones though.
Whiplash. But let's talk about the thing that I'm probably the most hype about from this batch of trailers. Predator, Killer of Killers. This is a concept that I've wanted to see forever. And this is a series of animated vignettes depicting the predators fighting people all across the world throughout different periods of time. And what we got to see in the trailer were the predators fighting Vikings, ninjas and samurai, and World War II pilots and soldiers.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
The way that it's set up, I would have thought that it was a TV show.
Oh, it's not?
It's a movie.
Oh, so we get to see all 4 things at once? Interesting.
Or maybe it's kind of like Animatrix, where it's a series of shorter stories.
I can see that.
The actual like synopsis says that it follows 3 of the fiercest warriors in human history: a Viking raider guiding her young son on a bloody quest for revenge, a ninja in feudal Japan who turns against his samurai brother in a brutal battle for succession, and a World War II pilot who takes to the skies to investigate an otherworldly threat to the Allied cause. But while all these warriors are killers in their own right, they're merely prey for the new opponent, the ultimate killer of killers.
That's fucking dope.
That is dope as hell.
I'm really curious to see how the 3 different narratives connect together. If they even do. But yeah, that's probably what I'm the most hype about.
One of the leads is a wild dog from the Arrowverse.
Oh shit, cool, good for him. I like that guy.
Yeah, I've liked him ever since I saw him in Reaper, if you remember that TV show.
Wait, the old UPN show Reaper?
Yep.
I forgot he was in that.
Yep.
Yeah, or was it UPN, or was that like one of the first CW shows? Was that after they
I think it was
merged?
UPN.
Okay.
I think it was UPN.
Because I definitely know it carried over to CW when UPN and WB merged.
Also part of the voice cast is Michael Bine,
Name does not sound familiar.
the original Kyle Reese.
Oh shit! The original Kyle Reese from Terminator? Wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Weird cast.
Predator and Terminator have always been like tangentially connected in my mind, mostly because, you know, Arnie franchises.
Also both in Tur.
Yeah, true. But yeah, super hyped for that. I'm also still hyped for this last one because I grew up on this show as a kid, even though this was like, you know, this came out when I was in like middle school and lasted all the way through like when I was graduating high school, maybe entering college. Their summer lasted like a long ass time, and that is of course Phineas and Ferb.
Yep.
You know, I follow, I want to say Swampy. I don't know if it's Dan or Swampy. I follow one of them on TikTok. So like,
the one that does the more TikTok stuff is Dan.
okay, I was like, I don't know which one of them is the one I follow on TikTok, because I know one of them is super active on TikTok. So I knew this was happening. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Like, as long as they have new ideas, I'm going to check it out. Like, it's not going to be something we cover, because Phineas and Ferb doesn't necessarily have a plot.
Yeah, I just mostly put it in here because it's a big trailer. Also, I didn't know how intense the Predator one was going to be or not, so I thought we might need a palate cleanser.
Yeah, and that's a good, you know, and it's a nice little nostalgia bomb for me. But now, let's talk about this nostalgia bomb that we all watched recently, which is, of course, the A24 film Y2K. So this is going to be our main event discussion portion of the video slash episode. Well, I don't even need to say slash episode anymore because we're not doing Spotify, because fuck Spotify. But yeah, this will be the main event discussion of the video. So let's go ahead and talk about it spoiler free. So spoiler free, just giving a quick plot synopsis. Y2K is pretty simple. It's a horror comedy based on the premise of what if the Y2K computer apocalypse event actually happened. And holy shit, dude. Okay, so first off, like, this movie is for a certain kind of person. This movie is for people who were born within this time frame to be like your older millennials, our generation, who live in that sweet spot of where we grew up with the internet, but we also know what life was like without it, or in the very early days where not too many people had it.
Yep.
And then it's also for fans of horror comedy, which
Indeed.
is something you never are supposed to take serious. It's often kind of just taking the piss out of things. But also, the thing about horror comedy that a lot of people overlook is horror comedy is often the perfect medium to make social commentary. Which, believe it or not, Y2K actually does a really good job at.
Which, I gotta tell you, I was surprised to find out that this is a directorial debut.
Oh?
Kyle Mooney, a former SNL member.
Nice, he did a great job.
He also is in the movie.
Oh, who is he in the movie?
Garrett.
Oh shit, my man! I love Garrett.
That was the director.
That's my dude right there. Love that guy. Oh shit, what? I don't like this. Oh man.
And I think his character alone is like personifies the whole like vibe of
The
this
entire
movie.
vibe of this movie, 100%. So like, it's one of those things, right? This is one of those movies that you just are supposed to sit down and have fun with. It's good, dumb fun.
Absolutely.
Like, it does not need to make sense. It can be stupid as fuck, but you have a blast watching it. And I'm not gonna speak for these gentlemen because they have their own mouth. But like, at least for me, I had a fantastic time with this movie. If you know any of us and you've been with this podcast for any sort of time, I think it was one of our lost episodes because this was one of the times where we had like a massive backlog, but we did talk about it in our year-end wrap-up for last year. Totally Killer was one of our favorite movies, on this podcast from last year.
Yeah, I think it was Tony's favorite.
Yep, as well as stuff like Lisa Frankenstein as well, which also really slept on, and another directorial debut for one Zelda Williams.
Which we did actually cover that one.
Yeah, that's not a lost episode. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much a similar vibe. So, but yeah, what did you guys think, spoiler free, about this movie?
Just a fun ride.
Like,
it can surprisingly get really emotional at parts.
Dude, that's the other thing I was gonna say, right? Like, this movie has a surprising amount of heart. Like, a lot of fucking heart.
And also,
And also, it did something that I thought was would be impossible. It made me care about Fred Durst.
right? What the fuck?
Yeah, which is weird that Fred Durst would come up twice in an episode.
Yeah, right.
Because for those that don't know, in Devil May Cry, the new anime, their theme song
It's done
is
by Limp
Rollin'.
Bizkit. Oh my god, that is so funny. So we would have been talking about Fred Durst either way. We could not have escaped Fred Durst if we wanted to.
But yeah, this movie.
Also, just something funny that I want to point out, that I pointed out to Brian. I love that everyone in this universe had to refer to Fred Durst by his whole name.
Oh yeah. Also, speaking about the cast, this is like I told Jay offline.
Yeah, this is
Like
like
the
the Avengers
Avengers-
of YA actors. So like, if you're like me and Brian, and you watch a lot of shows with like 20-somethings playing teenagers.
Well, also just child actors too.
Yeah.
Because tying it back to something that we mentioned before, again, this stars the kid who played young Bill in the latest
Yeah.
It duology.
Yeah, the main character was Bill from the It duology. Yep.
Yep.
And as we mentioned, Rachel Zegler is in it.
Yep. Who played Danny? Because that guy, love that guy.
Absolute legend.
Julian Dennison, who he was in Deadpool 2. He was in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh shit, cool.
But he got his like name in a Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh, I've heard of that.
But yeah, great little young actor. And then CJ was from 8th Grade.
Oh, all right, we covered that show.
It's a movie.
Oh no, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of the show that we covered for an older iteration of the podcast that was in the 80s, that had Sydney Sweeney in it.
Yeah, that
AV,
one.
was it AV Club?
No, I forgot the
What
name
the
of
fuck
it
was
now.
it called? Now I have to look this up. Go ahead, continue talking. I'm just gonna Google.
But yeah, I'm talking about 8th grade, the Bo Burnham directed movie.
Oh yeah.
And then, Jay, did you recognize Ash?
She did seem. Is she Sin? Was that Sin
Nope.
from Arrow? That's what I thought.
No. Theo from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh shit.
So you got the non-binary part right.
Oh, huh.
But yeah, Theo from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, they were great.
And then Eduardo Franco, Argyle from Stranger Things,
Yep.
as one of the dumbest school bullies
He
ever.
yo. Okay, so when I first saw this guy, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that came to my head was like, who is this Moist Critical cosplayer? Doesn't he look like Moist Critical? Like that character?
Yeah, yes he does. But also in the movie, it's the black kid from La Victor.
Oh shit.
He was the ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Which I didn't realize this, but makes total sense. He's the son of Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh shit, damn.
Wait, what? That is
He
insane.
looks a lot like him. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, that's
And
I also like that they didn't fall into the trope that he was just asshole. Like he
Yeah.
actually was alright.
yeah, and then also Soccer Chris, which I love that they kept calling him that.
Yep.
He's like, my name's just Chris. And they're like, no, you're Soccer Chris.
Come on, there were probably a bunch of Chris's in that high school. Chris is a very common name. You're Soccer Chris. Just like I have different adjectives for my different David friends. There, and I also have multiple gay like. It's like there's Black David, there's Jewish David, there's Gay David, other Gay David.
But anyway, Soccer Chris is played by the Kid Lario.
Huh?
The singer/rapper that did Stay with Justin
Yeah,
Bieber.
Kid Leroy.
Leroy, sorry. Kid Leroy was Soccer Chris.
Huh? See, I've listened to his music. I didn't know what he looked like. Oh, that's what Kid Leroy looks like.
And then the main kids' parents are even people. The mom is Alicia Silverstone,
Oh yeah, that I knew.
and the dad is Tim from Tim and Eric.
Oh shit, that's why he looked familiar.
Yep, so great cast.
Oh man, and of course, because it's a '90s nostalgia bomb. You gotta getting Alicia Silverstone was a good call.
yeah, absolutely.
And also, I love that it embraced the 90s-ness, like even the way that they made this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there are scenes where they could have CGI'd or like tried their hardest to like do modern film takes to make props look realistic.
That is something I was
Like-
wondering. Were those robots like all practical? Do we know?
They would
I don't
have to.
know.
They looked practical.
Yeah, but I will say that the thing that is the most obvious for what I'm saying is we're still in the non-spoilery, so I won't say who it is, but when one character gets decapitated, that head is so obviously fake.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a figurehead. And I loved it because like I know, and because the expression that's on the head as well. Like honestly, legit, one of the first things I wanted to do after watching the movie was look up a kill count video.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not done yet.
Yeah, it is not.
It's not done yet.
But I will also say that even though it was very brief, I did love Jay's live commentary that he was texting me.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
So, but for frame of reference, I think I was the one who finished it first out of the three of us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, crazy thing, before we changed our schedule, I watched it like the same day that we were going to record.
And you
I
were,
did too.
and you were just gonna. Oh yeah. Right. Mhm.
But I think you watched it first because
Yeah, so it was our old schedule, so that Tuesday.
Yeah.
I did it on Tuesday too, but I think you watched it before me still.
Because that was your day off. Because that Tuesdays are your day off.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this actually was one of my favorite things on the planet.
Dude,
Just doing
right?
just a random like horror film.
Like
just
also
Tuesday morning.
also just like again because we were all like I mean Brian, obviously you're like not to make you feel old, you're much older than us, but like Tony and I, like we were born in the early 90s, so like we have memories of this, but we like mostly experience like the aftermath and like kind of the rest of it through like osmosis.
Yeah, and okay, so this is the crazy thing that I realized.
Huh.
So Brian is 2 years older than me, and I'm like about 2 years.
Yeah,
older.
you're 2 or 3 years older than me because you're the same age as my sister.
Yeah.
So our ages kind of match up. So I decided to play a little game with myself. Like, okay, how do we win 2000 would hit?
Yeah, I mentioned it to Brian, and I mentioned it in the beginning of the episode because, like, you know, I was 5 in 1999, and I know that because 99 was the year my middle brother was born, my first brother.
Yeah.
Like when Cisco's song came on, I instinctively knew every word. I was like, I thought, like, you know, I would only know the chorus because I knew the chorus for sure. But like once it started, I was like, I know this entire song. I looked it up. I was like, yeah, this song came out in 99. I was 5 years old. What
That song fits your vibe.
What business do I have as a 5-year-old knowing this song?
Oh yeah, because I was reminded about it the other day, ironically at work. But the growing up listening to Shaggy.
It wasn't me. Yeah, exactly. I know that. I know that entire song too. I would sing that as a kid, like all of it. Even the whole part. Picture this: we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom. I had no business as a child. No.
And it's not even like a Flow Rider song. Where
it's like innuendo, like the blow my whistle, or you spin my head right around. No, this is just blatant. This is just blatant. Let me see that thong. I was cheating, banging this girl on the floor of my bathroom. Like, no disrespect to our parents, but our parents should not have been letting us listen to this shit. But I honestly think what was happening was our parents were listening to this music. And we just kind of absorbed it because children are sponges.
Yep. So we had a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and like a
9-year-old.
I was 11 in 2000.
Yeah, so you were 10.
Yeah, 10 and 99.
Yep. Like 7 or 8 to me. Then Jay would have been like 5 or 6.
Yep. And you know what the funniest thing is? And I texted my sister like about it. We had this conversation while I was watching this movie. I know all the words to the song. My sister knows the dance routine to the song music video. She learned how to dance to this song as a 7-year. Why? Whose man's is this?
So for all intents and purposes, this film brought about some like weird 90s nostalgia out of all of us.
Which speaking of, I also gotta add kudos to the AOL opening.
And also,
kudos to that.
Also, just other side note. This was so weird because like in a lot of nostalgia movies, I'll know a couple of the popular time songs that are in them, but like this is one of those ones where I sang along to every single song.
Yeah.
This soundtrack was fire.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Also, well, I think we've spoken enough non-spoilery stuff, so let's get into these spoilers.
Okay, real quick last thing, and this is just a fun little spicy pervy side note. There's a scene that involves like a pop-up ad, and like I remember I saw it and I was like, oh shit, that's Jenna Jameson. That was one of the first pieces of X-rated material I've ever seen in my life. I knew who that was right off the top. I'm like, oh shit, that's Jenna Jameson. Which, out of curiosity, I googled it. Did you know Jenna Jameson is 57? Like today?
Wow.
Wow.
Huh.
But yeah. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. Just like, I know nobody but me cares because I'm a degenerate. But like, when that scene happened, I was like, "Oh shit, that's Jenna Jameson." That was actually one of the first pieces of X-rated material I ever saw.
Which, by the way, I did Google it just because I was curious. Kyle Mooney, the director, is 40, so just a few years older than me.
Also, side note: if you're curious of what that first piece of X-rated material that I saw was, I'll tell y'all, and it's a deep cut, so. Points to you if you know it. It is a classic from Jenna Jameson's filmography, Zombie Strippers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, like, but if you know me, that
And-
that makes total sense why I
Yes,
am
it
the
does.
man I am today.
Yes.
Yeah, and on that note,
Yeah, now we can transition into spoilers. All right.
Oh my.
So this movie was awesome, dude. Like, yeah, like sure, it's very much by the numbers, but like it's one of those ones where it knows the tropes, but it also just knows how to play to the tropes very well.
Yeah. So our protagonist is just this nerd boy with his best buddy in the whole wide world, Dan.
Yep, the coolest motherfucker ever. He seems like he's like a heavy set version of me. I feel like.
yeah, which I
Bro,
like. I like
living
the
life.
fact. I like the fact that they didn't go like in some angles they went full trope.
Yeah, because usually
in others-
usually with this dynamic, the heavyset guy is the less outgoing, more shy one because he's a heavyset guy. But no.
Or he's the more stupid one, a la a Nick Frost character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bro was out here just trying to be as charismatic as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, he was getting the girls at that dance.
I'm telling you, yo, when he had that scene where he did the Cisco thing, I was like, yo, that's something I would do. I would do that.
Yeah, and bro didn't have to like put out his homie like
Yeah,
that.
Okay, that is the one thing I wouldn't do. He threw his homie clean under the bus with that.
Yeah, that
Like,
whole
The
whole
ocarina incident. The ocarina incident. We
yeah.
like
Your
bro,
homie,
like-
bitches.
like come on, dude. What? It's like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? Now literally everybody at school is gonna call him piss mouth. Like,
Yeah, and they did at the fucking party.
you're lucky they're all dead. so now, literally the only one that knows that is Laura and Ash.
Yeah, and
they're cool.
also, well, to be fair,
I guess some of the collective, but let's be fair, those fellas are so high out of their minds, they probably they won't remember that.
those motherfuckers weren't involved in that shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't meet them till after the party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, we gotta rip in peace, Danny.
Oh man, I was so upset. I was like, no. I mean, I knew he would eventually die, but I didn't expect him to die so early. But one thing I do like is that how they did the parallel of when Laura's friend Raleigh dies. You know, she's kind of like in shock and lost in the moment, and Eli has to be like, Laura, we gotta go. But then when it happens to Danny, like Laura this time has to be the one to step up and be like, Eli, we gotta go.
Also, I like how she takes up the role of picking up his backpack that he constantly keeps forgetting.
Right? I love that came back. Also, like, this movie is really good at setup and payoff for running gag.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is super important for a comedy. And speaking of just after Danny's death moment, I just want to talk about like the absolute funniest death of this entire movie, Fargus.
the big bastard.
That was so. Part of my commentary to Brian, it was like, wow, that was the most anticlimactic death ever.
Like
it wasn't even a robot that killed him.
He was bragging about, yeah, I almost made X Games 97. I'm about to tear this shit up. He tries to grind. He fucking falls, busts his head open.
And then they have to do it again where Ash is now.
Yep. Oh man, it was so good.
Also, that joined the party talking about like I only listen to the indie rappers.
Dude, can I just say, CJ is my least favorite type of hip hop fan.
Yeah, bro, was out here.
I hate motherfuckers like this, cause like, look, you guys know I'm a huge hip hop head, but the thing about being a huge hip hop head is I like all kinds of hip hop. Like, I hate rap purists who think you gotta be a lyrical spherical miracle individual, like, to be an actual good rapper. Like, Eminem was not good because of his technical ability. His technical ability is out of this world, mind you. He can rhyme fucking anything with anything. But what made Eminem such a good rapper is because of the content of his music. And the reason why his newer music kind of sucked for a while was because he had no real content. And let's be real, he also had just some weak shit. If you listen to his like BET freestyle from, I think it was like 2015, 2016, where he just tried to take shots at Chester Cheeto, and it just starts, that shit's been memed to death. It starts off with like, it's an awfully hot coffee pot, should I dump that on Donald Trump? Like some other shit, like, it was fucking weird. But anyways, I hate hip-hop fans like that, man. And I like that in his death he realized rap is rap. Like, yeah, I like lyrical rap. I'm one of those people that even after the beef, I like both Kendrick and Drake. I feel like both have their place in hip hop. The one thing I never agreed with people, like within the discourse of the Kendrick and Drake beef, is that, oh man, you know, Drake should be over. Drake has been poisoning the culture. I'm like, no, like, yeah, Drake is toxic. You know, some of the shit he's been pushing has been kind of like, you know, definitely not good. But it's because people were growing up with Drake. And like, you know, when you're going through your 20s and 30s, you're kind of a toxic asshole. Or at least I was a toxic asshole. So like, I vibed with a lot of Drake's music. And I still fuck with Drake's music, even after he lost the battle. Like, rap is rap, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like Limp Bizkit. Like, I've never really been that big of a Limp Bizkit fan, but I never, like, shit on them like that. I hate people that are like, oh man, you know, you like mainstream stuff, your opinion isn't valid. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, like, bro was out here just lambasting everything. Printers just joins the crew.
And his flow was weak as fuck. He thought he was so cool because he had multi-syllabic rhyme. But like, yeah, bro, you looked into a dictionary and could rhyme big words. Good for you. Like, that doesn't make you a good rapper. Like, relax, dog.
But yeah, CJ even realized the poetry of Limp Bizkit,
Right?
which I do find it even funnier that at the end, the song that Limp Bizkit sings isn't even his own.
Right? Gotta have faith.
Yep.
Oh man, I really thought he was gonna like unite the people of this small town with Roland.
But no, it was fucking faith, dude.
Yep.
That's
And also Jay.
Yep.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Going back to what you were saying about the reoccurring jokes, the whole condom.
Oh, dude. Let's talk about that. That was what made this entire movie for me, because the entire time, like, when they brought this up, I was like, that is disgusting. I hope you never use that. That was an old condom you found in a library book? Dude, that's old, probably, you know condoms expire, right, guys? I mean, I know you've never had sex before, so you probably don't know that, but condoms expire.
Yeah.
Like, dude, don't use that. That's not gonna work. You're gonna end up having a kid. Yep. Yeah, it's covered in his blood, and he hands it to him. I'm like, dude, I hope you don't use that. That's covered in your best friend's blood, and it's an old condom. You better not use that shit. And then, like,
and then when he finally does,
and then it comes into play when like the AI in charge of the Y2K apocalypse is trolling them, and he mentions that they're fucked, and Jenna Jameson makes her another cameo period, and he goes, wait, fucked. I got it.
But also, I love the fact that when he pulls it out, Laura's just first thought was like, okay.
Right? Yeah, like, that was so hilarious. She's like, I mean, I guess if we're gonna die.
In the AI, I'm gonna get a fucking job.
I love that the AI was like, you know what? I didn't know you had it in you. Respect. Enjoy your first fuck, brother. I won't let you die until you at least get your first nut.
But then use it as a glove. That's literally,
dude. Yeah. Like, you know, talking about my live commentary, I literally, when I got to that part, I texted Brian all caps, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you knew what part I was at when I texted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, I gotta say, my favorite part of the AI just existing is the, like, fucking reboot animation of
Right? It looked straight at a reboot. The little fucking, the robot people. Amazing. And I loved I loved the post-credits recreation of the Cisco music video with those things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our boy Danny in the afterlife.
Yep. And also, like, I need to talk to who, like, yo, I know Eli, like, has a whole thing with a music blog going on right now in, like, post-graduation. But you know what he needs? He needs to get in the toy business, because the figures he designed look pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, yo, he could like legit like get into like a custom figure making business. His Etsy shop would be popping right now, honestly.
Yeah.
And also, I do
custom
like
figures.
the whole fact that this movie fully embraces like its origins and the films that inspire it.
Yeah.
To where you get a weird like sequel bait that doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Yep.
And also one of my favorite things is like you know, usually it's annoying when movies directly reference the other movies to be meta. Like after Scream did it, like it's kind of been overdone. Well, my favorite use of that from this movie was when Laura was explaining her plan to take down the AI by infecting the mothership, so to speak, like the central hub of the virus that created the AI. She's like, you know, like this. And Fred Durst looks at the DVD, because they're in the porn section of video stores. He goes, you know, fun fact, you know, children or, you know, people who were 18 after the year 2005. Fun fact, we had these things in ancient times called video stores, and there were often sections in the back of said video stores where they would sell adult videos.
The champagne room.
And so, like, you know, they're in the champagne room talking to Fred Durst. They explain this plan, and she's like, yeah, you know, like this. And Fred Durst looks at the DVD cover. She's like, in the penis day? You know what I mean? Which, like, I guarantee you that was a real... I looked it up. That's a real thing, too.
I don't doubt it, but yeah.
Like, and it sounds like something that would have been on, like, late night Skinamax, because, like, man, we had Cinemax when I was a kid, when we first got, like, digital cable, and I remember my insomnia coming in handy, because, like, I would be awake at, like, fucking 2-3 a.m. when Skinamax would start, and I got to see such treasures as Cleavage Field, the Cloverfield porn parody.
Oh damn.
Oh man, it was good times. But yeah, this shit is it's hilarious, man. The kills are so creative. Like it's not just everybody gets it's not just everybody gets decapitated or everybody gets stabbed to death. Like
the one that I thought was uncreative was Danny's.
Danny's was kind of lame, yeah. Danny's was the lamest. But my favorite one, which I also texted Brian about during my live commentary, was Soccer Chris. Him getting his head shoved in the microwave. I was like, yeah, fuck him. He deserves that. But yeah, this movie was fucking fantastic, man. The romance was really solid between like Laura and Eli. It was very cute. I also do like that Laura like very much had her own final girl energy. Like if Eli wasn't around, she could have just been a protagonist.
Oh yeah.
And also she was very smart. She wasn't just a love interest.
Yep, and I also like that both her and Eli were flawed individuals.
Oh yeah, like, you know, she admits like, oh yeah, okay, you're right, I was kind of an asshole, I have ignored you guys, that's my bad, shit.
And then he was a bit of an asshole to her.
Yeah. But one of my favorite things is that, like, talk about embracing your influences, is that, like, none of the hacking shit Laura does or says makes any goddamn sense. It's just straight up Angelina Jolie hackers 90s shit.
Like they even do like the whole
like her click clacking saying random gibberish
while like the like half opacity stuff flies by that doesn't make any sense, and she's using that like 90s hacker gibberish, like hacking into the mainframe.
Yeah, bypassing the system, like rerouting the system, all this other, like, just random terms. But yeah, fucking love that shit, man. Fucking loved it. So
indeed. And then also, I love that some of the stuff was just like, who cares? Like the dad forever scarred.
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
Yeah,
I sometimes just do that.
I keep doing that for some reason. Weird. Also, yeah. I love that, like, you know, at the end of all of this, like, the collective offers offers a joint to the parents. Dad's like, I'm good. Mom's like, you know what? After all the shit I've been through, yeah, let me see that shit.
Yeah. The Silverstone. Yup.
And homie's just like, hey, I like your mom. Cool mom. No, I mean, like, I really like your mom. Like, you better watch out, Dad. That young buck might try to fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck your
because
wife.
they did that. Like, MILF and going after somebody's mom was actually.
Yeah, that was a big trope in 90s stuff. I mean, look at Stifler's mom, the most iconic
Yeah.
version of that shit.
But I love that where at the beginning, Eli is just blatantly flirting
Yeah.
with Danny's mom.
And to be fair, Danny's mom is fine as hell.
Yeah, but I like Danny where he's like, dude, stop trying to fuck my mom.
Right? Oh, man. Danny's mom.
But then at the end, they have that really sweet
Yeah,
scene.
nice heart talk. Again, it's a nice balance. Like, yeah, it's dumb and stupid, but it also has a lot of heart. So, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. We don't want to just spoil all the jokes, even though we're in spoiler territory. So I feel like it is closing time for this podcast. So we should head into final thoughts and rating. I'll start. I give this shit a 9, dude. I can't justify a 10 out of 10 because there are flaws. This movie is dumb. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for what it is. So I will, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because it's just, movies this good leave you with a smile on your face the entire time, and by the time you're done, and they also put a smile on your face when you talk about it. I don't care about the technical aspects that you're supposed to grade movies on, which I do still, I do actually care about it, but like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to deep dive into that shit when it comes to movies like this, but man, this movie was just a great movie. But I can't justify a 10 because I can't say it's flawless. So 9.5 feels right. All right,
Why
Tony.
were you reading my mind? Why were you reading my mind?
Hey, Tony, we basically share the same brain cell, dude. So that's, not too far-fetched.
Yeah, so this is a 9.5 for me. It just gave me fun nostalgia. It gave me fun kills. It did its job, man.
It did everything it
job.
needed to, man. Like, again, that's the thing with us, right? Like, we don't judge everything on the same grading scale. We look at things for what they are and then grade them within their own parameters.
Yeah, and when it comes to certain horror films, if they don't take themselves seriously, then I don't take them seriously.
Yeah, why should we? Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta suspend your disbelief. All right, Brian, is this another? Are we like 3 for 3 on unanimous decisions?
Well, no, we aren't, because Wolf King.
Oh yeah,
we weren't.
oh yeah, right. Yeah, that broke that streak. But yeah, is this another unanimous decision then, Brian?
Honestly, not really.
So close.
And like you said, Jay, this is kind of like something like Exo Kitty, where you definitely, when you're rating it on a different scale than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I texted this to Jay before off camera. This movie is stupid, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Which is why, and I did really like it, despite it being formulaic and there being some slight issues here and there that we mentioned. So even though I already spoiled that I'm not giving it a 9.5, I'm still gonna give it a 9.
No, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fucking great, you guys. If you enjoy this type of shit, you will have a blast with Y2K.
And also, can I just say real quick that this is one of the cases where you don't always trust critics.
Yeah, and also, like, I know I briefly talked about it in the beginning, but I do want to just like quickly touch on it one more time before we end. Justice for Rachel Zegler. This proved to me how good of an actress she is. Do not write her off because of the Snow White movie. All right, this chick is good.
Yes. And it still baffles me that Rotten Tomatoes, which this goes to show you like how bad they are. Do you know that both the audience and the critics' ratings for this movie are in the high 40s?
Bullshit!
What?
Wow! They were whoever rated this was smoking that good shit for real.
And it only got like,
they must have been smoking whatever Garrett had. They transcended.
It only got like 2 million in the box office.
Undeserved. undeserved. This movie was.
I feel like
fucking-
this. I feel like this is going to be one of those films where the general population will appreciate it later.
It's gonna be like, and this might sound blasphemous because a lot of people like nowadays put this into a high category where a lot of people forget. People hated this movie when it first came out. I think this is gonna be this generation's version of like a Jennifer's Body,
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
where like when
Also-
the movie first came out, everybody thought it was dumb, it was poorly rated, but then when you actually go back and you look at all the messages and all the heart that it had, we didn't really talk about it too much because I didn't want to get too deep into it, but it also had some really interesting commentary about modern society, like how we're all glued to our phones and we're essentially slaves to the digital world, which is fucking true, to be honest with you.
Yes, it is. And also, one other little funny note before we end it. We have been, I've mentioned this before, but we all have been chronicling our ratings this season
Yep.
to like better in the year and wrap up and stuff.
So we can organize stuff better, yeah, for our year-end wrap-up list.
Funnily enough, you guys giving it a 9.5 and me giving it a 9 is the same exact rating that we gave Pokemon Horizon.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Tony, like, not to say that you're not as big of a horror fan, but like Tony and I like fucking eat, sleep, and breathe this kind of dumb horror shit. Honestly, that's why Corey is one of my best friends, because me and Corey can sit there and watch stuff like Velocipaster.
Oh
and
yeah.
Zombeaver and all these other Tina and the T-Rex.
Oh,
Oh.
T-Rex.
Dude, Piranha 3D is good, but Piranha 3 Double D.
Oh my god.
I've also seen the entire Sharknado quadrilogy, or is it quintology? I don't know if it's 4 or 5.
I believe
It's
it's
a
5.
saga. It's a saga of random
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, but also I do appreciate I love horror comedies in general too. Like one of my favorite films of all time is Cabin in the Woods.
Cause like, and also like, slashers have a special place in my heart, and at the end of the day, this is a slasher film.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. So
Why?
we already teased it a little bit. So you if you have more than half a brain, you probably already figured it out. But Brian, why don't you go ahead and officially tell the folks at home what we will be covering next week on the Temptations podcast?
well, we are staying with like gore and intense things, but completely different and more devilish.
Yeah, we skipped
are
we
covering-
skipped out on one devil to cover another.
Daredevil Born Again.
Which I am so excited for, you guys. Like, I do wait for things to just finish so I can binge watch it all, but being a big DD fan, like legit every week for the past few weeks, when we used to record on Tuesdays, right after we wrapped recording, I would turn on the episode. And I'm pretty sure Tony would do the same if he hadn't, because I know Tony would often pull it up to just tell the titles every week too, because we would record around the time that the episode drops.
My
Which
time,
the
yeah.
good thing about us switching days now means that we can cover this sooner.
And that means it also be more timely, so hopefully more of you folks will watch it. Because I'm like like Brian had mentioned to me before, I am kind of sad that our Sakamoto Days episode did not do quite as well. But I think that was more of like a time algorithm thing, because it wasn't as new, people weren't searching for it as much. So hopefully Daredevil will work out. Who knows? Maybe Y2K will be surprisingly do surprisingly well, because we're doing this relatively on time.
Yep.
And Rachel Zegler is a pretty hot topic since a lot of people are talking shit about her. So putting her in the tags will help. All right. So yeah, folks, this has been an episode of the Channel Chasers podcast. And just remember, when you get knocked down, you can get back up again. We'll see you next week. Peace.